Hey geeks, this is Captain TW returning with the second of the DC Comics Designer Series Greg Capullo action figures, and here we have Talon. Talon was actually created specifically for the Court of Owls saga. He's actually a pretty awesome villain too. There's a lot of detail into him, which I'm not going to get into because this isn't a comic review, this is an action figure review. So let's look at the box real quick. There it is, it's gold, it says Capullo down right there. That's how he's drawn out in the book. And then, Batman we already looked at. This is Capullo again. Talon, Nightwing, Riddler, synopsis. Alright, and there's the figure. Look at that. He just looks good. Focusing on that mask right there. That is just so awesome. That is just ridiculous. And we're going to get into the articulation and the detailing and the accessories. Everything. And there's Talon, looking just all awesome. The cuts, the detailing, I'm impressed. I am actually really happy I picked this guy up, and you should too. You better. He's worth it. He's definitely hard to find in stores. I got him at my local comic shop. They sold out pretty fast. I had to put them on hold. But if you find them, get them. There's the rest of them. They got a really awesome owl pendant look for the wrist. It's like the shield, like that. Some more cuts and scrapes. Those arrows, they don't come off, but whoopity-doo, they just look awesome anyway. As well as the knuckles. Look at that. He's ready for battle. If you guys pick up some flight stands, definitely worth it too. I've been meaning to get some for myself. Look at that face. Look at that. It's almost identical to the drawing. Like by 0.1% difference. And if my phone wants to focus, which apparently it's not, so we just have to deal with it from here, folks. I'm sorry. That's an owl pendant. I'm really happy. And here's his weapons. You got the two daggers, which he holds pretty firmly, and I'll show you. Those 6 wonderful throwing knives that are not molded to his chest, which I thought they were, and I'm so happy that they're not. That wonderful owl mask, and I'll show you the larger scale in a second. And the 2 swords, which fit firmly, well, semi-firmly, into the sheath on his back. So as you see, that's the little mask that came with Talon. Pretty decent, sculpting. That's the actual one that came with the Court of Owls box. I mean, look at that. I'll move it closer. It's almost perfect. And just like that one's in scale to my face, it's an oversized mask on purpose. That's oversized to any action figure. So if you have a Batman display, or Batman is, like he found the victim and that mask was laying in a gutter or something. You just put it all together. It just looks so incredible. I've seen photos with this mask on other, like, bootleg toys or whatever to have ultimate display. I'm just so happy. That is just definitely worth it. So you see, again, a reason to pick him up. Alright, so he stands at just about 7 inches tall, which is roughly to scale with Batman, which is pretty decent. I like how they did that. As for his articulation, which I'll get into briefly, I'm just going to zoom here because it's easier to show for his head. You can see there's no head articulation. But I get why, as much as it's a big, big, big gripe for me. In the comic, that's all one piece mask. I guess they couldn't figure out a way to make that articulated. Oh, and I took that knife out for a reason, because I'm going to show you the nice unique trick on how to put it back. Like I said, they are fully removable. Just there's a select way I prefer, so you don't break anything. Okay, so minus the non-head articulation, which I still say boo. The rest of it is pretty decent. It's kind of similar to Nightwing, which I'll get to in the next video for the series. Video number 3 for this series. This here, like, he has that ball hinge joint in his arms, so his arms actually go further out than Batman, which I like, and they're fully rotatable, almost like he's free falling, which I think that's awesome. This belt here is actually a separate piece, so it doesn't hinder anything. He is upper biceps swivel, as well as the same single joint elbow, wrist rotation, and forearm rotation, as well as the wrist, able to be almost fully articulated there, where it could actually, go up and down, as well as side to side. So yeah, same articulation as Batman with the arms, so that's pretty nice. They actually, Nightwing has that too, and again, I'll show you. Same thing with the waist. The diaphragm does move. It does have decent, crunch. Speaking of crunch, I actually had to put him in hot water so it didn't crunch and then crack, because it was extremely tight when I picked him up. So yeah, the hot water trick, people, definitely worth checking out. Same leg articulation too, with the upper thigh swivel, the double hinged knees on both sides, which is pretty nice. The top of the boot to hide the articulation there, and the same, I guess I would call it loosey-goosey feet, but it's definitely decent. He does have one peg hole on the bottom too. I mean, like, if you want to get a flight stand, I'm gonna have to pick up a few for these guys because I'm afraid I'll drop them. But yeah, that's his articulation. As for that knife, the trick is, instead of putting it from the blade up, I prefer to put it from the sheath down, because it makes it for a lot easier to be movable. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much it for Talon. As you can see, he's just an incredible figure. We'll get him nice and zoomy again for you. I'll show you once I can get him to stand, because like I said, he has loosey-goosey feet. But yeah, there he is. Look at him. You know you want this guy. Come on. You know you want him. Pick him up. Pick him up, pick him up, pick him up. Anyway, that's a little humor there. So yeah, definitely worth it. I'm gonna post some pics at the end of this video, him with like the accessories in hand and stuff. So yeah, that's video number 2 for this series, and video number 4 for me in total. If you haven't checked out my Figma Amazing Spider-Man, Walking Dead Daryl with Chopper, you can find those on the Inner City Geeks website, www.innercitygeeks.com, where all the cool kids hang out. Follow me, Captain TW, on Twitter, or Captain_TW on Instagram. I post a lot of neat stuff. Well, I try to. So yeah, from all of us here at Inner City Geeks, this has been Captain TW. And just remember, it's the age of the geeks. That's the Inner City Geeks. Laters.